Politics now, or should I say a little more politics, a little real politics. And with 183 days until the election, there's been some movement in our poll average, our poll of polls, so to speak. A few Romney leading results, making this just a 1-point race tonight with just under 6 months to go. And of course, while everyone's keeping an eye on the national numbers, this election will likely be decided in the trenches in about a dozen swing states. USA Today and Gallup identifying these 12 states as this year's swing states, and in them, according to USA Today and Gallup, the president has just a 2-point lead over Mitt Romney, 47 to 45%. I want to ask the panel, and Gina, I want to start with you because you're our polling expert here today. It's too early to really focus on these polls in this much depth, right? Or is it just fun horse race watching?
Yeah, it's a little early to focus on the polls in these depths, although they do reveal something, and that is something that people hear. I mean, we've said this all along. Every time I've been on, you've been saying this, that this is a tight election. It is much closer than people think, and that is true because it's tight in the swing states, and that's the beauty of the USA Today poll and some of these other swing state polls, is that it shows how tight this race can be. So you can look at an issue like gay marriage. It matters what Barack Obama says on that, because if he loses a couple of these swing states, he can darn well lose the election. They've got to be very careful because this is a very narrow, very small group of people that they're trying to attract.
By the way, this election, the polls are going to be moving, but at the end of the day, these polls, I believe, will be inaccurate to the day of the election, and because this is going to be all about independents and unaffiliated voters and where they feel they're going to move. That's what's going to move this election entirely. And I've lost a lot of faith in the polls because I think, in my mind, the voters are making last-minute decisions.
But it's still okay if we show the poll numbers and show the swing states, right?
Look,
please,
it's your
please
show.
let us.
You know what I find shocking about all of this? It's really scary how tight this race
Very
is.
tight,
If you go by any indicator, Obama is way ahead. But yet, when you do the lump sum total, Romney is ahead. Now, Romney is the same guy that was pushed far right, and we can go through all the criticism, but yet in the general election, it's a close race. And I keep asking, why? Why is it so close? And here's what's going to decide this election. At the end of the day, this is all on President Obama. If he energizes his base, which is almost impossible to do the way he did in 2008, but if he energizes his base that way, he's going to win. If there's a slight fallout of his base, say goodbye to term number 2.
Then again, he can also help pollute Mitt Romney's base, and hopefully fewer of them turn out for Romney, who he's banking on.
Not this year. They're coming out because the distaste for Obama is too intense.
Okay, the big congressional debate in New Jersey, not the only big political story happening across the country. Tomorrow, Indiana Congressman Dick Lugar faces what could be an uphill primary fight to keep his seat. He's being challenged by a Tea Party-backed candidate. Lugar, another one of these long-serving Republicans whose credentials, his conservative credentials, had gone unchallenged for decades. Now, all of a sudden, he just might not be conservative enough for the new Republican Party. We have seen this play out in Utah twice. We've seen it play out in Delaware last cycle. We've seen it play out elsewhere. Is it good for the Republican Party?
No. It's scary. This is why you have stand your ground laws like Trayvon Martin. When you have Republicans that want to do the right thing, and they are facing a primary from the far right, where do you think that pulls them?
But that sounds like it's bad for the country, yet good for the party. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing for the Republican Party. It helps get them elected.
It's driving the entire party over the cliff.
Well, what's bad for the party is that parties need numbers to win, and the more far right they go, the harder it is for them to move center and capture elections. And this is the problem. You look at the party leadership, they don't want this. So Dominic is absolutely right. This is bad for the Republican Party, but it's not a surprise. Think about 2008. I can't tell you how many conferences of political scientists I went to in the fall of 2008 who said the Republican Party is dead.
Wait.
And it wasn't, but it is trying to find itself again. No, I agree with you.
It's not dead because the right wing, the conservative, the fiscal conservatives, the Tea Party have revived this Republican Party that everyone said was dead, and that is why it's good for the party. That's why it is clear that some of these right-wing challengers that are coming in against those long-time, regular, as I call regular Republicans, that changed the whole game for Republicans.
All right, Brad gets the last word in this block.
That's not
You will
fair.
not. You will not. You will not get the last word in any other blocks. We're going to take a
Thank
quick
you,
break. When
Andrew.
we come back, welcome to unemployment. College grads facing an uphill battle securing jobs now more than ever in recent history. What the recession hangover means for today's college grads. Up next.